Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Lawfolds in beautiful Scotland. This is Lawfolds episode number 48, and we're basically picking this episode right on the heels of episode 47. You know, I talked about this a couple of episodes ago about how sometimes it's easier for me to do my back-to-back recordings when you know, back to back with each other, versus even though you watch them somewhat staggered between Pineco Farm, Lawfolds. I alternate with 1 week I show 3 episodes of one map and 2 episodes of the other, since I have gone to a 5-day or five video release schedule per week. And so we're basically just right off the heels of episode 47, bringing you episode 48. And so I wanted to kind of investigate to find out why this Courseplay tractor and seeder here was having such an issue with staying on course. I still don't really know. I sat here and I watched it, and once I reset it and got her going again on the correct path, everything seems to be fine. And so I have no idea what was going on with that. Excuse me, but you know, it is what it is. And we are going to cultivate this field, and hopefully by the time we get this field cultivated, she may be done seeding sunflowers over there, and most likely we will probably go ahead and finish up our time as far as this map is concerned, or this episode is concerned I should say, maybe planting more sunflowers over here on this field. I'll take a look and see what we've planted so far, but it will probably be either sunflowers or, I don't know, maybe corn. Here we'll see what we have, what we already planted, and just go from there. So hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day, wonderful week, and everything is kind of going just fine for you. I know here everything is wonderful here in the land of or in my world, my Grizzly Bear Sims and Jerry world. Everything is going fine. I will, you know, I talked very briefly a few episodes ago about some of the stresses that I had in my life, and part of that was my wife not feeling so well, and I just wanted to kind of bring you all up to speed on that situation. We have had she has had a barrage of different tests and everything that has kind of been going on the last several weeks. Well, who am I kidding? Maybe even the last several months. And she had both a colonoscopy and a upper GI procedure performed it's been about 2 weeks, I guess, 2.5 weeks now ago from the time that you're watching this episode, maybe even closer to 3. And that basically, the results of that was, you know, good news for us. There was no signs of any cancer or anything like that. Wrong button and wrong gear. And so that obviously was very good news for us and for her. And so there's still some things that just aren't 100% right. She has huge sensitivities to foods, different foods, and some foods affect her in ways that other foods do not, and a lot of it is almost like allergy type symptoms. In other words, like, I suffer from seasonal allergies, as I've bored you guys about before, and so the effects of the pollen and the different things that float around in the air, that just even the mere thought of that will almost make me sneeze and tear up and everything. But that's sort of how she feels after she has eaten several types of different foods and such. And so for any of you that might sort of be in the know with regards to how different foods and different conditions and such, whether it be you know, like lactose intolerant, or even something like celiac disease, and how that different forms of glutens and stuff can affect that. That doesn't seem to be the case with her. The results of both the upper GI as well as the the colonoscopy basically indicated that there were no, no signs, no traces of celiac, things like that, that could, that could basically cause some symptoms similar to what she's suffering with different sensitivities to food. And it really sort of is, that's sort of the key word from what we've been told by her gastroenterologist or whatever, is that, it's not necessarily so much allergies to foods, because it doesn't appear that she is lactose intolerant, if that's how you refer to that, but definitely certain things do cause certain symptoms that are somewhat do cause some problems for her. So anyway, we just continue to keep doing what we're doing, and that is just to kind of watch and keep, right now she's keeping a food diary of the different things that she is eating and how those things react to her. There is something called the FODMAP diet, FODMAP diet, and it's comes from a individual or a group of individuals. I think somehow or another they're associated with maybe Stanford University. I'm not sure. Maybe that's incorrect, but in any event, there are different indicators that she's following as far as the different types of foods that they are sort of aware of that have, a higher degree of causing sensitivities and such, and reactions to different things. So it's going to be just a process that she and I and we are going to have to somewhat kind of endure, and just kind of keep an eye on how all this affects her and what she can do and what she can't do, and just sort of go from there. So I suppose I will say this, that if any of you have any experience with any of this and would care to share with me, please contact me via grizzlybearsims@gmail.com, and let me know if you have any direct experience with any of these things that I've talked about, because that would greatly help her, and of course help me as well. I'm the guy that's got the cast iron stomach that can pretty much eat just about anything, all different types of foods. Now, I may not like the type of food. I don't really care much for things like broccoli and spinach and stuff like that. I carry that over from my childhood. But I can eat jalapenos, and I can eat spicy Mexican food and spicy Indian food and such like that, and not even bat an eye over it. So anyway, so enough about that. So where are we on time? Well, we're not even, I think we're just barely 10 minutes into this episode. So we're going to kind of continue to do our cultivation here of this field and get it ready for whatever we're going to plan here, and we'll figure that out once we get this job complete, and switch tractors, and we'll seed this field ourselves. And like I said, we really only have this field, that very small field number 30, which had sugar beets, I believe, on it before. I will see if we choose to plant sugar beets on that field again this year or not. We'll see. And then of course we've got that larger field that is that we still need to take care of as well. So most likely I will do that off camera with Horseplay, because I think I'll just get this little bit right over here. I think that we are getting to a point to where that, for as far as this game day is concerned, I think this will be maybe the last episode that I bring. I don't know. I mean, God, guys, you must think that I'm the most indecisive person, and it's sort of like, I've said this before. I don't really plan things out. Well, I say that now. When we started this map, and also when I started Pine Cove, and most likely when I start any map, I will kind of, obviously I go in and I put my touch to it. I almost always buy extra fields. I cheat in the money. As I mentioned in the previous episode here on Lawfolds, there's no right or wrong way to play this game, and don't let anyone bully you into thinking that there is a right way and a wrong way, because it's whatever you want to do. That's up to you. You are the architect. You are the decision maker. You play the game how you want to play it, and if you choose to play this game however you want to play it, and if you choose to put that gameplay on YouTube, don't let anyone tell you that what you're doing is either not right, or it's outright wrong, or it's you're cheating or whatever. If the game allows you to do something, even whether it be a mod, if you go out and you buy, or you download a mod that is a seeder that allows you to plant anything with it, anything and everything with it, even though it may not be that in the real world, that type of seeder may not be used to plant that particular crop. So an example might be that really nice DB, I think it's a DB90 John Deere seeder that I've used on Pine Cove Farm. That seeder, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that seeder will plant wheat and barley and canola. Now, that's not the type of seeder that is used to plant those products, and I have only used the DB90 to actually plant corn and plant other row crop type items, such as sunflower is a row crop type plant. And of course, the default equipment within the game, that's set up more or less true to life. But of course, people mod stuff, and they increase the capacities of something, or they increase their something's ability to do something. And a seeder is sort of a good example of that. Don't let anyone tell you what you're doing is wrong. Just do what you want to do. Do how it enjoys. How you enjoy the game, how you enjoy what it is that you're doing, and people they'll either tune out, or they'll go away, or they'll complain. I mean, people love to complain. It's kind of funny, because in my job, working in the IT world, unfortunately, and it's not that people are doing this on purpose, and it will be interesting to know, because I know that my good friend Pharmer Klein is in the IT world as well. But people don't stop by my office just to say, "Hey, Jerry, I just wanted to say hi. I hope you have a good day, and how about those Cowboys," or something like that. They generally stop by my office when there is a problem, when they have a problem, or when a system is down, or when something else is going on. And from my world, much like maybe somebody in the medical profession, a doctor or a nurse, or a dentist or whatever, again, people don't just call up and say, "Hey, Dr. So-and-so, I just wanted to say I hope you have a good day, and thank you for doing what you do," and all that good stuff. They call you up when there is a problem, when there is a complaint or whatever. And so a lot of times, because this is kind of human nature, a lot of times, even in our YouTube world here, doing something as simple as playing a game, sort of a video game, if you will, albeit pretty darn fancy, they still have that nature about themselves to somewhat complain. And well, they'll do whatever they're going to do, because as the old saying goes, haters will hate. So we're going to run up here and try not to. I did enough teleporting in the previous episode, but more or less the way that I go by things is that, and I've talked about this before as well, about the fact that sometimes we can only be as true to life, or as real as what the game and the game mechanics and the physics of the game and all that kind of stuff allow for us to be. Sometimes that's all that we can do. But what I usually do is, if the game allows it to happen, again, either by default or even through something that's been modded, then typically that is, how I will play it. So let's see. Okay, let's look and see what we got. as far as stuff that is planted. So field number 3, what is this color? This is soybeans. So we've got soybeans growing in 3 and 4. And to be quite honest with you, I'm still, well, even though we're planting these on this game day, we shouldn't have a problem. Remember, we planted soybeans on Pine Cove Farm in early summer, and we lost those. But I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And I may actually, oddly enough, I may just put soybeans on field number 30 and do that on the first game day of summer just to test to see if that issue still exists, but we'll cross that bridge at another time. So what do we want to put on field number 29? So we've got sunflowers. These are canola. So I tell you what, let's do 29 and sunflower as well, since we've got two soybeans, we've got our 2 canolas, we've got barley, wheat, and barley and wheat down here. We've got corn there, which is enough probably for our corn needs. So we'll go with sunflowers. I like sunflowers. Do we even have enough for that field? I don't think so. So let's not even take a chance. And we will head back and fill this guy up with seeds, and then come back and do sunflowers again. So we need to, while we're thinking about it, we need to change that, because I can tell you I've done this more than once. Be monkeying around with the seed selection there and forget to change it back. All right, so let's refill, see what, that's fertilizer, so we'll top that off. And we'll pull forward just a little bit here and go ahead and top off our seeds as well. So we're doing well on the money situation here on this map with our progress. I added a few things to the map that you might see whenever we get around to me showing you that, or I might change my mind. And I know I was in a train of thought when I was talking about something a few minutes ago, and I got off on a tangent of something else. But you guys might think that I must be the most indecisive person, because I will talk about I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, and maybe by the time you see something, I've already sort of changed my mind. And I think that really goes for the fact that I don't script a lot of this stuff out. And yeah, whenever I start a new map up, I will sort of, I cheat in my my money, I cheat in some fields that we're going to own, that sort of thing. But and obviously I cheat in money and such that we're gonna need to do what we're gonna do. But I don't do outside of really that, other than I will sort of take the map and I will look at what fields might make the most sense to do here or do there or whatever. That's really the extent of it, and I need to remember to get a screenshot here. But I will cheat in some money, and I may even sort of determine that, okay, I'm going to plant soybeans here, I'm going to plant, corn here, and I'm going to do it on this day and whatever. And that just is kind of to help me stay focused, because again, I don't script out a whole lot of stuff, and especially once we sort of get the planting and everything underway, I guess one thing that I'm trying to say here is that, and I think this benefits you, and it certainly benefits me as well, is I don't put a lot of energy into trying to determine what I'm going to do, 3 or 4 episodes down the road. I am sort of typically thinking about the episode that I'm currently, playing or recording, and I will think about the effects of that episode based on maybe what I want to do or need to do in the next episode. And so that's just kind of how I do things, how I run my channel. Everybody is going to obviously do things different on their channels and how they do things, and what works for me most likely may not work for someone else. And yeah, I am kind of seating this a bit wrong by putting my headlands in first, but it's just kind of how I'm going to do things here. But in any event, what I do versus what anyone else does, again, is going to always be unique, as it should be. We don't want to copy each other, so. But anyway, my point being is that because I don't script things out that far in advance, if I say I'm looking at a particular map, you know, I could change my mind 2 or 3 times before I ever get to the point of where I'm actually going to start playing it and actually start putting, you know, seeds in the ground and everything. And so I guess with that said, that's one of the things that you guys will figure out, is that I am gearing up obviously to replace Pine Cove Farm. I'm pretty much decided that Lone Star is going to be that map because it's busy time here for me, and I will admit that sometimes it's even kind of difficult for me to get five episodes out a week. And the Northwest Texas, even though I love that map, and obviously I've got a little bit of history with that because I drive through this area, to me, I think I can probably put a little bit more of my personal self into Lone Star, simply because I did grow up less than about 50 or 60 miles from the area where Lone Star sort of exists, or where it takes place, or what takes place there, I should say. And so I'm going to try to get out of these leaves here, but I am going to try to put sort of my personal touch and my personal experience of having basically grown up in this portion of Texas, in this northeast portion of Texas, into how I do things with the map. And so I haven't even, where we are with when you guys are watching this series, and the day that I'm recording this series, I've not even done anything with Lone Star. So I was actually thinking about doing that in a live stream, and if timing works out for me, I may have thrown up a live stream on Sunday, Easter Sunday actually, and so and that live stream may, if time permits, and I'm actually talking about this and saying all this even before I've done the live stream, but hopefully it's my intention to throw the live stream up and to be able to show you guys some of the things that I do to set up a new map, and how I'm gonna play that. So we will see if I actually made that happen or not. And of course, with Lone Star, we will play that map with seasons. And we will obviously enjoy ourselves while we do it. I have often, and I gave it some thought. I seriously gave it some thought about not playing the next map, whatever that would have been, and in this case it's looking like it's going to be Lone Star. I had really thought about not playing it with the Seasons mod, but you know, again, I've played around with, I actually did install Lone Star, and I did install Northwest Texas, and I installed them and I activated them the first time around without Seasons mod, and I just drove around the maps because I wanted to kind of familiarize myself with the maps a little bit, because again, as I said in one of my previous episodes, I don't really watch a lot of the same gameplay from the same maps that I'm playing. Of course, if one of my friends is playing it, then obviously I'm watching it, but I don't typically really copy anyone's style. I'm not gonna do that. But you know, for example, Doughboy2913 has been playing Pine Cove Farm. I have been watching his episodes, but like for example, I know that I believe Landy Kid looked at Lone Star and may have thrown an episode or two up. I think he's done some live streaming of it. I've not watched those. I watched just a little bit of one of his episodes on Lone Star, and once I kind of determined that, okay, this might be a map that I want to play, I really did kind of stopped watching it just for the simple fact that, you know, I want to put my own flair, my own ideas into the map, and I think that's what eventually differentiates those of us that are doing YouTube gameplay on, you know, farm sim or whatever the case is to, you know, be different, be unique, not all of us be the same. You know, we can certainly play the same maps. You know, I don't get bent out of shape if someone, even someone that I consider maybe even a friend, plays a map, because you know, I don't hold any. I certainly don't hold any copyright or any trademark to being the only YouTuber that is going to play a specific map. And even those of us that are somewhat associated with, say, the Three Dudes Gaming Network, for example, you know, if somebody wants to play Lone Star, or if somebody wants to play Lawfolds or whatever, go for it, you know. Whether you watch my channel or not, and even if you copy my ideas, go for it. You know, that's, what is it that they say about, you know, more or less copying somebody's work is a excellent form of flattery? Well, go for it. But anyway, I am looking forward to getting started on a new map. I think that, you know, obviously from when we were speaking a few minutes ago about, you know, there's no right or wrong way to play a map, to start a map, to do anything that you want to do with regards to gameplay. There's no right or wrong way to do it. If the game allows you to do it, the ability to do it, then it's fine as far as I'm concerned. But obviously with the Seasons mod and the way that the Seasons mod affects a lot of aspects of the game, unless we're going to do 2 full seasons, you do need to start off with a little bit more of things in your storage, for example, or either that or go be prepared to buy bales of hay and bales of straw and bales of silage, because you know, with the way that the Seasons mod affects your birth rates as far as your animals, your livestock is concerned, and the wool and such as that, you know, like for example, if we're only going to play Lone Star 1 year, okay, and that's really all I'm thinking about, that we would play it, and if we're going to do sheep on that map, then we need to basically go ahead and cheat in the money and cheat in some grass or some hay for the sheep, and go ahead and get those guys started. Because if we're starting the series, and obviously I will start the series in spring, if we're starting in spring, that's the only time that they produce wool. And so if you are going to sort of go career mode, if you will, then if it takes you all of spring, because keep in mind, when you start, you have no fields that are available to do anything with. They're going to basically be, if something is planted in those fields, it's knocked back to seed, just the seeded level. So in other words, it's no better off than this field is here, except obviously it would be completely seeded. But if it needs to be plowed, it would not have been plowed. If it didn't have all levels of fertilization and everything applied to it, then obviously you would need to do that as well. But you need to take those things into consideration. So that's kind of why when I play these series and I start these series, especially with doing it with Seasons mod, is that, you know, I do start us with a bit of a starting level of inventory of different things, including money, including the type of equipment that we want to use for that series, because again, trying to do it through career mode, through just, you know, rinse and repeat, you can't do that, because the year is, in our case, 12 days long. You know, folks that are doing YouTube channels that aren't playing with the Seasons mod, you know, they basically start a brand new map, and if they're playing with the equipment and everything that the mod developer intended them to, well, they usually have something available to harvest, so they will go and they will harvest that field, and then they will start with the process of reseeding it and getting it all ready to go again. And within, within a couple of game days, they're ready to harvest that field again. And then they take the proceeds from that and they say, okay, well, we've got enough money now to either upgrade equipment or maybe buy another field. So they buy another field or they upgrade some equipment and they grow like that. And within 20 episodes, they could, in a sense, go through 2 or 3 years, equivalent to the vanilla way that that Giants has basically programmed things to work within the game itself. And so we just don't have that luxury because we're playing as realistic, as far as growth cycles and stuff. Me driving through the already seeded portion of the field is not necessarily realistic, but we're just trying to get this work done here this time around and get you guys off to doing something else for your day here. So anyways, we're coming up on 30 minutes, maybe about 31 minutes here as I look at my timer, and I think we'll just go ahead and I'll keep you here until we get the rest of this done. I will just say that it might look like from time to time when I turn that I haven't lifted the seeder up, but that's because we are using the modded version of the ground terrain mod, and that allows a little bit more realism, especially if we look at how much our tractor tires are sinking in. You see how much, especially on the front there with the weight, it's not affecting the back as much, but look at the rear tires on the seeder, how they're sort of dug in. Basically, when we do a turn, even though we are lifting the seeder itself, because the tractor tires are sunk into the ground maybe a few inches, it's not getting lifted up all the way, and so it kind of drags, which in my mind that's more or less realistic, if you're in a situation where the field is that soft. And I don't think that we're in a situation where the field is too soft for us to be seeding it, but I think that you would just kind of see that. So, or at least that's my story, and I'm going to stick to that. Remember, guys, I'm not a professional farmer. I don't pretend to be. I am a professional IT guy. Sometimes I have to pretend that I'm maybe a little bit more or a little bit more knowledgeable than I am, but that just kind of goes with the territory. But anyway, all right, so we're almost done. I don't know if we'll get this pass all fully done, if it's wide enough. I'm trying to drive in a straight line, so at least if I do need to make one more pass up the field, it'll be just one more pass and not having to move around and get the other side. So I think that's going to be fine. We'll come back around and we'll just do one more pass up this area here to get this all sealed up with seeds, drop our seeder, and off we go again. So I'll just start thanking you all for watching this episode. I really do appreciate it. Now it's possible that you're seeing these episodes back to back. I'm not sure. You just will have to bear with me because as I'm changing maps like this, for me it takes a little bit more time to get things going, because I do a lot of off-camera stuff, which again I'm thinking that will get done in a live stream. And so if you guys have watched that live stream, if in fact my timing and everything works out that I can do that, then obviously you will have seen stuff maybe a little bit out of sequence as I'm setting up the new map. But yeah, so but I will get back in the grind as far as getting episodes released when they need to be released. I'm still hoping, fingers crossed, that Cattle and Crops is not too far out from being released, the early preview access anyways. And so we will see how that goes. And I really think that a lot of whether or not I bring us back together for another episode on this game day really probably depends, and I'm probably going to reserve that for just how much I'm able to get done in getting Lawful or getting Lone Star ready to go. Now that's going to be a little bit of a mind bender there, Lone Star and Lawfolds, two maps starting with L, but we'll figure it out. But whether I come back for another episode on this game day may depend on just how much I get done in getting us to a point to where that I can start cranking out episodes on Lone Star. And if that happens fairly easily and I'm able to get an episode or two of Lone Star going for you, and I'm talking real episodes, not live streams, then I may go ahead and do the rest of this stuff off camera. Or if I'm not and I feel like I need to continue with Lawfolds, because I can always do Lawfolds episodes back to back here for you, so I can keep my 5-day a week video release schedule, then you may see another episode from this game day. But you'll just have to see, because I haven't, I'm not to the point to where I've even started planning Lone Star. So obviously, if I can do that in a live stream on Easter Sunday morning, then I will certainly do that, and you'll see that pop up. So this could all be just wasted words as far as I'm concerned. But make sure you follow me, Three Dudes Gaming Network, PCSG. By the way, I do have a Twitter account that I occasionally tweet from, and everything is pretty much tagged as Grizzly Bear Sims. So if you're interested in following that, then give me a jingle over there as well. So thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it. From beautiful Lawfold, Scotland, my name is Grizzly Bear Sims. My real name is Jerry. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I appreciate it. You're all very good friends of mine. Take care, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.